Hi guys, are you experiencing weight gain and an increased appetite during your period? Are you interested to learn more about your hormones? Then watch this video. Even if you are already in your menopause, this might be interesting for you. First, let's talk about the weight gain during your period. I retain a lot of water weight during my period, sometimes up to 5 pounds. In the past, I weighed myself, and every time my husband said, "Why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? You know that you experience some weight gain, so where is the point?" He was right. And therefore I stopped weighing myself during my period years ago. It was just a waste of time. The weight gain during your period is due to an increase in the hormone progesterone. Progesterone activates the hormone aldosterone, which causes the kidneys to retain water and salt. The progesterone levels spike in the second half of your cycle, which can lead to water retention, breast tenderness, and bloating. Some women experience a breast increase by almost a full size on their periods. That's progesterone, which causes your body to pull fluid from the blood vessels to the tissues and makes your breasts appear fuller. Unfortunately, this is only temporary, so if you don't get pregnant, your body will go back to normal. If you ask yourself what you can do about the weight gain, to be honest, not much. You can watch your salt intake and take a bath with Epsom salt, which is high in magnesium that helps with the cramping to some degree, but don't expect a big difference in terms of your weight. But to be honest, is it really that bad to deal with a couple of pounds of weight gain for a couple of days? It's just water retention, and the water goes away right away after your period. Then everything goes back to normal on the last day of your period or the day after. The water retention disappears completely. Focus on eating many healthy foods, and if you experience more cravings, focus on carbs, stick to fruits and unprocessed starches like potatoes, rice and beans. If the weight gain really bothers you during those days, then stay away from the scale and wear some comfy, more loose clothes. Why overcomplicate everything? Biologically, women are designed to carry a child. Even if you are not planning to have a child, your body doesn't care and will make the shift in your hormones anyways. Therefore, paying some attention is wise that everything is working properly, especially when women planning to become pregnant in the future. Let's talk about the increased appetite. Almost every woman I talk to experiences an increased appetite or some form of craving before and during her period. Some say it's conditioned. Others say the calorie need increases between 100 and 300 calories per day while menstruating. Estrogen levels are highest during ovulation, whereas the progesterone levels are highest just when you're starting with your period. And the progesterone is responsible for the increase in your appetite. Furthermore, your basal body temperature increases up to 0.5 degrees after ovulation, and I noticed that because I'm having the body temperature of a wolf on those days. In my personal experience, I definitely have an increased appetite, but not for junk food. I crave fruit and starches, especially very sweet fruit, sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. On my period, I eat a bit fewer veggies and focus more on fruit and starches. To be honest, I love doing that and don't feel bad about the fact eating more than usual. As soon as you eat the right foods that help your hormones, everything is fine. I never gained weight in the long term by following my increased hunger drive during my period. After my period, my appetite decreases and goes back to normal. This is especially important to know for chronic dieters, chronic restrictors, and binge eaters. The increased appetite makes them feel uncomfortable because they cannot control it. So take it easy. Your body is doing amazing things during that time of the month, even if you don't like it. Pay close attention to starch and fruit. Don't restrict those. If you restrict those, you will end up eating junky food or super high calorie dense foods like bread and dates. And doing this 5 days in a row every month cannot just lead to weight gain due to the water, but rather due to the higher calorie intake. So therefore, never restrict healthy starches and fruits. These are your best friends during your menstrual cycle. Despite complaining about the temporal weight gain, embrace that your body is able to do amazing things. So go slow on these days. Relax, take a bath, focus on light exercises like a walk in nature instead of intense ones. Do whatever does you good and stresses you less. You will always hear me talking about sticking to starch, but during my period, fruit is queen. But this is just my personal preference. Guys, I'm on my period and I wanted to encourage you, eat when you're hungry. When I'm on my period, I'm especially craving fruit. I can eat fruit all day long, and this is my third bowl today of a fruit salad. It's a big apple, it's a huge kaki and a big banana, and yeah, I just follow my hunger and I enjoy doing that. These are the days where I feel super cozy. I cuddle myself in a blanket and eat a lot of fruit and starches. Usually I reduce vegetables, I just don't enjoy having them as much as I usually have, and it's totally fine. So don't be scared to eat more than usual when you're on your period. When I'm on my period, I eat as a bottomless pit, and I never gain weight doing that. I know that some women get super panicky, think they have binge eating or have some cramming, whatever, but I talk to so many women and all experience the same. And the best combination is when you take a piece of banana, piece of kaki, and a piece of apple. This combo. And by the way, this was only a snack. I had 3 large starch meals, so I can eat a lot of food, guys. Stick to whatever works best during your period, starch, fruit or both, and of course stick to a whole food plant-based diet. Many women experience less or no PMS symptoms at all by switching to a whole food plant-based diet. That's the goal, and it's not normal when you have severe pain during your period. Be aware that many women are misdiagnosed with PCOS when in fact they have the condition that is called hypothalamic amenorrhea. It means that you lose your period because you may be too low in body weight, exercising too much, not eating enough, and having a lot of stress in your life. Plus, some women have a genetic predisposition in losing their period faster than other women do. In short, your hypothalamus, an area in your brain, shuts down the reproductive system because it assumes now it is not secure to conceive when too much stress is going on, like calorie restriction or over-exercising. Sometimes you can have all of those stresses together, or only one is enough to shut down your menstrual cycle. Some super low weight women I work with are put on the pill because they lost their period after their weight became too low. A period induced by the pill is not a natural period, it is a withdrawal bleed, and it will not fix the real problem. Other women, on the other hand, deal with endometriosis or heavy periods. This is another topic, but something I wanted to mention on the side. I'm talking about this topic because many women just focus on their weight loss but not on their entire health. Maybe you don't deal with any health issues, and that's good. But even if your period is missing, something is going on. I would recommend having a look into that as well, and not just your weight. This is different for males, and they have less sensitivity by nature in their hormones. Males aren't able to carry a child. That's the difference. That's why they can do heavy exercise without experiencing major hormonal issues. I work with many women who are in their menopause already. Of course, the situation is a bit different and things change, but still, those women have to look after their diet as well in order to experience fewer or no menopausal symptoms. When women eat a high-fat diet and a diet high in animal products, especially dairy, which is high in estrogen, many of these women experience heavy bleeding or heavy menopausal symptoms. Therefore, the natural hygiene community and plant-based doctors like Dr. Neil Bernard pay great attention to estrogen dominance in the diet. But I rarely hear them speak about women low in estrogen. This can be true for women who are too low in body weight, who exercise too much, who don't eat enough, who have severe and major stress in their life, who are anorexic, or because of other reasons. Sure, because the majority of the Western population experience a diet that is too rich in estrogen, but it is important to mention that some women on a plant-based diet, depending on their diet history or genetic predisposition, experience a decrease in estrogen and a period loss, etc. Therefore, they need a different approach than a woman that has too high estrogen levels, of course. For example, eating too much fat raises estrogen, having too much body fat increases estrogen, a lack of fiber raises estrogen, drinking caffeine raises estrogen, drinking alcohol raises estrogen as well. So if you deal with high estrogen levels, have a look at those factors. But if you face the opposite, maybe gaining a couple of pounds might help if your body weight is too low, and changing some things in your exercise or diet as well. Therefore, my diet recommendations for women in their menopause and ladies in their 20s or 30s who are underweight can differ. So ladies, with all this information, pay attention to your reproductive system no matter which decade you are in, and not only focus on your weight loss progress. Instead, focus more on the big picture of your health. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, such as learning more about how to prevent pregnancy naturally or get pregnant by learning about your fertile window, I recommend reading the book Taking Charge of Your Fertility by Toni Weschler. If you want to learn more about how food affects your hormones, you can read Dr. McDougall's book, The McDougall Program for Women, and Dr. Neil Bernard's book, Your Body in Balance. Let me know if you're interested in more topics like this. I find it super important to take charge of your fertility and your hormones in the modern world, where everything is fixed by just taking a pill instead of focusing on the root cause and the big picture. In fact, many modern interventions like the food, the contraceptive pill, or xenoestrogens found in many of our food containers, toxic cleaning products, and much more cause hormonal imbalances. Of course, there can be a genetic predisposition, but you can still influence your lifestyle choices, especially by paying attention to your diet, your exercise, and your sleep routine. In this case, go with the flow and pay attention to your female health. See you in my next video. Bye bye.